the channel. I have
Dhruv Kaka.
He is an author and the former head boy of our school. But today we're talking about very interesting topics, very unknown topics that I usually never talk about. And I thought it would be really interesting to talk about things that people don't usually know
not
or
conventional.
talk about. Yes. If you don't know who he is, he's been in previous vlog as well. The study wala where we were in the tuition.
Scooty and Gedi Maane.
Yes, and he gave you the proper instructions, the directions.
That apparently landed us somewhere else. We did not reach the place we were supposed to reach.
Yeah, we cut that part, don't worry.
Okay.
Tell them how we met.
So we did not know each other. I'd say somewhere 1.5 years back. But then we shared. We were together in eco class, and I think if you still ask our eco teacher, both of us have graduated school, but till date, if you ask our eco teacher about the eco class, even if you ask her about the eco class, she'll begin with just jabbering on like anything. She used to always make sure that both of us sit separately in class, because if you used to sit together, we would talk ceaselessly for hours and hours and hours, and we would not let her teach.
And we would talk about such stupid topic intentionally, so that she would get so irritated.
And sometimes she would also get deviated to teach.
Especially when we would talk about her love life.
Yeah.
But that's how we met. It's been a year, and it's been an amazing year. So many things to learn, so many things to share.
We're very different,
Yeah.
We're very, very, very different. But just a few minutes back, I was telling her that, it's so ironic that we are poles apart, yet, we're such good friends, we're best friends.
It's very weird. As I said, he's an author. He has 4 books out, which you can find on
Amazon,
and
Flipkart, and all online retail sites for that matter.
first book here, second book here. What?
GT's Customs and Narratives, and this is Indian lore. And then we got a poetry book which is called Seas on the Moon, and my latest one, Devi, Tales of Women from the Ramayana.
But starting off, tell me why you're so invested in this genre overall.
I fundamentally write on mythology, and now I'm also planning to delve into other genres. I've written only mythology and poetry until now, but I'm planning to delve into a lot of other genres. But mythology.
5 minutes ago, he just told me that he started reading Colleen Hoover's romantic genre. So that's what he means by when he says different genres.
But I'm not writing romance. So, talking about mythology specifically, I think what fascinates me about mythology is its supernatural element. So, for example, both of us share this interest in astrology and astronomy. In subjects like astrology and mythology, there are certain things that cannot be explained. You only feel them, a certain group of people feel them, and that is what I find most intriguing about it, because I feel it's, those supernatural events, characters, they're so enticing to me. And also another reason why I specifically write on mythology, because it is an underrated subject. People feel that we cannot learn anything from it.
Yeah.
But if you actually read the scriptures, of course you do not have to take them literally, because if you start taking them literally, I'm sorry, I don't know where you would be.
Half of the people that I know, they're like, oh, they're myths, and
I know. It's somebody's truth, History is everybody's truth. Mythology is somebody's truth.
Right.
Your Jesus may also be right, and my Ram may also be right.
Yeah.
That is what in India, we celebrate the idea of Anekantvad, that is multiple truths. There is no single truth, we celebrate multiple truths, and that is good. Aapke Ram bhi sach hai, mere Allah bhi sach hai.
So you're saying the reason behind the mythology overall is the reason why you wrote books on it?
Exactly, because I wanted to transmit my understanding of the scriptures and my learning from the scriptures to the world around. Because as I said, you cannot take the scriptures literally.
Right.
If you start taking the scriptures literally, you'll be like, how can a man have 16,108 wives? And people would be so happy. But okay, again,
I love you. So if I was a newbie and I really wanted to get in mythology and I wanted to read your books, what would you tell me, as an advice to where should I start, or where should I actually put my focus on the first level?
I think there is no particular point at which you should start, because again, I struck mythology very suddenly. I never envisioned, if I tell you 4-5 years back from today, I never envisioned that I would be writing on mythology. I would have 4 books till now. Someone gifted me books of the famous mythologist Devdutt Pattanayak. Then someone gifted me books of the scholar Wendy Doniger, Bibek Debroy. When I started reading them, I was so intrigued. Then my mythology journey journey took a feminist take when I started reading Chitra Banerjee Devakaruni and when I started reading Kavita Kane, and that is how I believe this book came into existence, because it is about tales of women from the Ramayana. Talking about, how I would introduce a newbie to mythology would be whenever you're reading a story. So all of us have read that Amar Chitra Katha in our childhood, that comic Amar Chitra Katha. It used stories of that used comic book.
Yeah. Or
Those Mr.
Ram,
Sita, they used to be different characters. So all of us have read that. I always advise newbies that when you're reading a mythological story, just the first thing that read it in a very structural way. That your fundamental purpose for reading that story should be कि मुझे इससे कुछ सीखना है. I want to figure out what this story is trying to convey, because the authors and the saints and sages who wrote these stories thousands of years back, of course, did not write it just because they wanted to add masala or drama in people's lives.
Yeah.
Of course, they had a purpose to teach society something. So,
for me, I started my interest in mythology through astronomy. I'm really into space. I'm really into stars and stuff. It's very connected to the history. When you look back in time, and that's how I connected to mythology. I don't know if you know, it's written somewhere in the books that Ram actually went to the space and he met the extraterrestrial people.
One such story about many other avatars of Vishnu. So for example, if you talk about the Varaha avatar of Vishnu, which is a boar, he places the earth on his tusks. So of course that is again a supernatural story, not literally possible, but there are metaphorical implications to it. Again, while she was talking about how Ram went to space and all these stories, again they're not found in the Valmiki Ramayana or the Ramcharitamanas that people usually read. So that is what I'm saying. That is the most interesting aspect of mythology, that there are layers and layers of each story, and
maybe you will find a point where you think that, oh my god, this is what I'm interested in.
Exactly.
And I never knew that Ramayana or mythology was connected to it.
And the more you delve into it, I mean, it's like you'll never be able to come out of it.
Recently, I think 3 or 2 days ago, I was watching this Beer Biceps podcast, and there was this ISRO scientist, and he's a full, proper science and everything, mathematics, calculation, and he himself believes that when we look back in time, there is a possibility that this era was more advanced than we are. So talking about these moments around mythology, which one is your favorite moment where you were like, oh my god, this is one of my favorite moments in the whole genre?
Okay, so one story in which I was touched, perhaps. So I think that would be the story of Sita's Agni Pariksha from the Uttarkand of the Ramayana, which is again not found in the earliest Valmiki Ramayana, because the Valmiki Ramayana was the earliest Ramayana written in the 1st century BCE. And the Ramcharitamanas was written quite recently in the 16th century by Tulsidas Goswami, because Valmiki Ramayana was in Sanskrit, so no one could understand that. Then a lot of variations came, and Tulsidas Swami thought that, of course the Ramayana has to reach the masses. So he wrote it in the popular language, the language of the masses called Awadhi. So, again, what was your question? Sorry, I
your favorite moment.
My favorite moment, yes. So the Agni Pariksha.
So you talking about your favorite moments, you would have obviously mentioned them in your book somewhere or taken the lesson from there. So give me, you can give me one message from each book, or one message overall from your book. What is that one message that you're trying to spread through your books?
From this book, I am challenging these laws that are there in society that we still believe in. So I think that is, and then again through this book, I am trying to decode symbolism in Indian mythology, because there are so many symbols and traditions that have continued for ages, that have been passed on as legacies. So what is I'm trying to make head and tail of these symbols and traditions. Through this book, I'm trying to explore folklore, folk stories from Rajasthan, from Gujarat. For example, in Rajasthan, we have this festival, Basoda, in which we worship Sheetla Mata. Basoda, in which we eat basi khana.
Oh, Thanda Khana. We call it Thanda.
Basoda.
Yeah.
So that is Sheetla Ashtami. Then this book, Seas on the Moon, this is not mythology, but this is poetry. This is an anthology, and I collaborated with lots of authors and poets for this, all of them my age, and it turned out to be so beautiful. Look at the cover.
Me as a person, I am very, very, very invested in astronomy. I think it's just like history or mythology. I think there's so much to discover. again, of course, there's science and everything, but then I think in space, you're always like, there are so many possibilities, and that's the same with mythology.
That's the same.
Because nobody knows. So when we talk about mysteries in mythology, when we talk about truth in mythology, or just general the history, what is that one thing you wish that people knew about mythology, or what's that one thing that people would believe that is in mythology?
I wish people would try to look at it from a different lens. The colonial people, they gave this word myth such a wrong meaning that people always think that because they say Ramayana is a myth, matlab jhoot hogi Ramayana.
So I want to thank Dhruv for being here today and telling my audience about something that they didn't know about. I know you did not know about mythology. I know you're watching reels. I know you did not know a thing about mythology.
I love this. I'm doing this after such a long time, and I met her after a long time today. So I'm so happy, and I'm glad we could do this.
I'm so happy.
Albeit with a little bit of interruption, but okay.
Yeah. But please go check out his books on Amazon, Flipkart, and anywhere else that you can find. Go enjoy. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you. Bye-bye.